Right guys, it is time for an autumn seedling update and we're going to do some thinning out. So I have already done some thinning out, and if you follow me on Instagram you will see that I have made myself some seed snails. Now the reason I've done this is because I am doing both the grow along collections and I'm trying to maximize the space that I've got, so it is a really good space saving way of thinning out seedlings. However, I've never done it in the autumn before, so this is an experiment. I know that there are lots of you that are experimenting with me as well. So I did it in the spring and it was amazing. So some of the varieties I've thinned out in this way. However, there are some that I have thinned out just like this. So these are cornflowers. We've also got Mauve. They're looking really good. So one per cell, and in fact their roots are looking really good. They're not ready to be potted on yet, but they are looking good. So we want to be at the stage now where most things are potted on individually into their own cell. Now I was waiting to do any more thinning out until my snapdragons had their sort of next pair of leaves, which they have got now. So these are the smallest of my seedlings. I did sow the whole packet, so I've got way too many in here. But we're going to do these and any of the other small ones that I've got. So I'm going to give you a quick look at what they all look like and then we'll thin them out. So I have got snaps from both the collections. I didn't do so many in this pot. This was Sensible Sophie, this was Wild Sophie, and I did just squirt them with a hose, so they do look a little bit battered. The other really crowded ones are the Gadisha, which are ridiculously crowded, but don't worry, we're going to thin those out, bury some of that legginess hopefully, and hopefully they'll be fine. I have got some Malva here that I hadn't done in a cell tray, so these I just sowed all the seeds in one pot. Those ones I did in cells, so these definitely need their own space. In fact, let's do a little shelf of the ones I need to do. That's a good idea. Larkspur, so I've already started doing my larkspur, so as they've been germinating inside, I've then been bringing them outside and popping them in a tray kind of one at a time. They'll be absolutely fine in there. Scabious, that is, I believe, the leftovers. Did I do a seed? Oh yeah, here we go. I did a seed snail of scabious and also of my corncockles. So they are all corncockles, looking great. In fact, that looks a little bit, I might need to add another bit of string, I think, because it looks like we're losing a bit of compost there, so I will make sure that I do that. Not all of this is grow along. Rudbeckia is, so it looks like I've only got 3 healthy Rudbeckia, but that's fine. I can see a couple more starting to germinate. Cynoglossom, they look really good, so they are well ready to go in their own tray. That's more Larkspur. I've got some more inside as well. Orlaya, I'm really pleased with how many Orlaya I have got. So it was only Orlaya and Larkspur that needed to go in the fridge. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the Orlaya because they don't always germinate well. If yours haven't germinated yet, make sure that your compost is really moist because the seed shell is quite hard. And that definitely makes a difference. The Gypsophila, whatever you want to call it, they always look like this, floppy and a bit wild. No matter when I've grown them, they came straight outside. I didn't leave them inside. It just seems to be how they are. So let's count up how many seed trays I'm going to need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think I need 6 of these, and I will thin them out into this size, I think. That'll work well. I've just bought another bag of Silver Grow compost, but overall I'm feeling quite organised. That's quite good. I do think these cornflowers will definitely need a bit more space in the next 3 or 4 weeks, but for now they're fine. But I do really like to be at the beginning of October with everything like organised, as in thinned out and looking healthy. I think it's a great way to start the month, being able to see what you've got, not having trays and trays of seedlings like that, but just being organised and kind of keeping on top of it. I just feel going into autumn like that is a great way to be. Also, if you are looking at what you've thinned out and you think, oh, actually, I could do with a few more of those, do another sowing. It's still early enough to do that. We've got the warmth. And I've done that with Orlaya, actually. I've sown more because I thought, oh, wow, I've got a decent amount, but actually they were so good, I want more. So it could be that you think, oh, actually, I'd quite like a few more of those. So definitely do another sowing. And don't forget also with these hardy annuals, you can also sow again in the spring. So you've got plenty of opportunity to be sowing again. Right, so we are going to thin out snapdragons into this tray. Now you want something like a stick or something small because these are going to be tiny, so you just want to make a tiny hole in each cell and push it all the way to the bottom. Like I always say, you never know how long the roots are, so it's better to make a bigger hole. So push, push, push all the way, and then you want to grab yourself, so kind of like loosen your seedlings out the tray, whatever they're in, grab a clump and then drop them from height. And did you see how that sort of loosened? Then repeat. And then that really loosens the clump, and then you're just going to pick the seedlings up by the leaves. So that is one. I'll put my tray there so you can see me thinning them out. So very carefully. 2, 3, and my tray has got 12 cells, so I just need 12 of these. As you'll see, I'm going to have millions left over, and if any break or get damaged, it doesn't matter, just toss them out. I know it's really hard to do that because we get so we just get so like excited about all these seedlings, we can't bear to get rid of any, but you just have to do it. That's a good one, that's not a good one, ditch that one. I must nearly be at 12, that's not so good. And you can kind of, oh, that one's got a bent stem, you know, you can kind of be selective, pick the strongest looking ones. But yeah, for God's sake, don't thin them all out if you've sown as many as me, because you'll be absolutely drowning in them. So I think that's a pretty good selection. Then I'll pop those back in there, and then you're literally just going to drop that into the hole. I'll use my little stick just to make sure that the roots go all the way to the bottom. And then can you see that I'm actually burying a lot of the stem just so the leaves are poking out. And that is perfect. And then in with the next one. So drop that, even if you just drop it near to the hole and then gently push it down. Yeah, I always find a stick is just perfect. And then gently, gently. You don't want to be compacting it loads. You just want to very, very be gently easing it in. Oh, this one's got a long root. Where's my stick gone? Again, just gently. You really don't have to touch it very much. It's amazing how just a very gentle touch just sort of gets it in place. And then you're just going to repeat that. And it is exactly the same process no matter what seedling you're thinning out. So I'm not going to thin out all of them, because once you know how to do it, it's easy. But whether you're doing a slightly bigger seedling, whether it's a calendula or a cornflower, it's exactly the same. But I thought I'd do the snaps with you because they are often the smallest and the fiddliest. And I'll get one of these close up in a second to show you. But you'll see what I mean about I waited until my next lot of leaves came with these snaps. Let me show you what I mean. So can you see the 2 new leaves that came. So I waited until I was at that point. So they've got the next leaves coming. Now I do find this really therapeutic, and I know sometimes it can seem overwhelming and it might just be a job that you wish you could put off, but once you get going, I find it, yeah, really therapeutic. I don't know if you can hear the background noise. I think the neighbours' kids are in the garden. And then once they're in their own cell and they've got a bit more space and they're in fresh compost, you won't believe how quickly they will grow. So we've really got, hopefully, another 4 weeks of mild temperatures, plenty of light, and then the light levels really start to drop as we head towards winter and not much growth will happen. So yeah, autumn is the time for, you know, still lots of growth. And then over winter, what will happen to these is they'll just sit there. They won't die down or anything. They'll still be green, still be there. They just will not put on much growth. But then when Feb comes round and the light levels start to pick up again, what you'll notice is they'll start to grow. In March they'll really start to grow, and yeah, we go again with the cycle of growth. So the period of dormancy is not long at all, which is why it's so key that we do this sowing to give us a garden literally bursting. And I'm hoping that this year's going to be a good snap year, because it wasn't for me last year. We didn't get much warmth or brightness in October. It just seemed to be wet and grey and dark and cold, and I didn't get much growth. So from the thinning out stage, just nothing really happened. So I'm really hoping this year that they're good. So that was Snapdragon. I'll tell you what, I will also do with you, let's do the Gadisha, because, or Clarkia, because these are a mess. Okay, so these are really wild. I'm gonna, God, I don't even know. I'm gonna pick this side because they look slightly less limp. These have literally gone crazy. So I'm loosening that. Oh my God. Okay, let's just take a big clump. I bet the roots are gonna be crazy. Okay, decent roots, and then we do the drop. As you can see, I've got way too many of these. Then let's pluck one of these out and have a look. So you'll see quite a lot of leaves. Is that 4 leaves? 4 leaves plus 2 extras, so that's 6 leaves. And then again, just like the snaps, we're gonna drop it in. And despite the stem being really long, we're just gonna bury some of that long stem. So ease it all the way in. And then firm that compost around. And again, I'm sort of planting it up to its neck a little bit. So can you see it's gone from being a really, really big, long, leggy seedling to just looking okay. And then repeat that across all of your seedlings. That one didn't come with many roots. So again, I'm hoping these are going to grow really quick. I might have to make the hole a tiny bit bigger because the roots are so big. So gently in, push, 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 all the way in. Now this one, where I've firmed it down, the level of the compost has gone down a little bit, so I can always top that up in a minute. So there you have it. That is a tray of Gadisha, which were a little bit leggy, and they're looking okay. I actually did think I was done, but then I thought, do you think we should do these Gypsophila, because they look a bit flopsy and I don't want you to worry about that, so let's do them quick. Alright, so I'm going to pop the tray out and then pick one cell to do. But yeah, they do just look a bit floppy. Let's see if I can get them out. so in just the same way that we did the others, we're just going to bury that legginess. So you've made your hole, drop it in. This is the, whatever it is, Gypsophila, Gypsophila, whatever you want to call it. So gently with my stick, pushing it in, and then pushing the compost up to the neck. Instantly, it looks better, doesn't it? So just repeat that 12 times, and then all will be good. I'll just do another one with you. Seedling in the hole, gently push and ease it down. I did seem to remember that these were just like this last year as well. These were so nice in the summer. It was like an explosion of delicate flowers. They were really pretty, really pretty. But I need to get some more out now. Okay, so this is where we're at. Seedling snails for the things I wanted lots of. 2 lots of calendula, orange Californian poppies, scabious and corncockles. Is that right? Corncockles, yeah, I think so. Then we've got snapdragons, Clarkia, Cornflower, Cynoglossom, Orlaya, Larkspur, Mauve, Gypsophila, Cerinthe, more Larkspur. I did a tray of teeny tiny snaps to see how they did, and then that's actually dwarf pink blush Lavatera. They're my perennials, so I've got 4 little lots of perennials. Look how neat it looks. My greenhouse never looks like this.